All that was once directly lived has become mere representation. Life has declined from being into having, from having into merely appearing to have. Life has become a spectacle, a social relation between people that is mediated by images. These are some of the revolutionary thoughts of Guy Debord, a French Marxist philosopher from his 1967 work, The Society of the Spectacle. He argued that as television and newspapers and magazines had become more prevalent in the world, they had not just become one function of living, but the main function, and it had turned human lives upside down, and more so without most people realizing it. The smartphones and social media that later came along bolstered Debord's argument beyond his wildest imaginations. Or perhaps not. Perhaps he already sensed what was coming. As a small example of what Debord was pointing out, young people today are unlikely to ever go fishing once in their lives, but very likely to go fishing as a side quest of some video game. There are myriad deeper examples, but I think you get the idea. In Debord's view, the spectacle is a tool by which the rich and powerful keep the masses in a trance, in a state of longing and desire, and permanent dissatisfaction. They are then perfectly primed to enter a state of controlled frenzy when a new product is unveiled or when a new war needs to be waged. The marketer is the ultimate master craftsman in this new world. Through the spectacle, demand that did not exist before can be created out of thin air, and to keep the masses desiring increasingly unnecessary goods and services, increasingly sophisticated marketing is needed. In this world, the salesperson is king, and the man of action redundant. Look at our political and business leaders today, and tell me if they are salespeople or men of action. The TikTokification of the human nation is the clearest example yet of the bird society of the spectacle. Lifestyle trends spawn from it, businesses are built around it, and election campaigns won through it. More than that, scrolling TikTok and Instagram has become the main lifestyle of many people, their main hobby, their main expertise, increasingly the place of their work. What good is climbing a mountain if you don't post a photo of yourself at the summit? If there is no photo and other people haven't seen you at the top, then did you really climb the mountain? For most people, you may as well not have. If you rent a Ferrari for a day and pose in front of it for your Tinder profile, does it really matter that you don't own it? Will it stop you from getting dates? This type of commodification of appearances leads to a very dark and disturbing place. Debord argues that without real life experience, there is no real knowledge, and without knowledge, there can be no critical thought. Is this why critical thinking is on the decline globally? Because there is a growing generation of people who have never really done anything except watch others do something, and so have never really learned anything, even if they just learned what not to do, and so have nothing to use as the reference point for their thinking. When you replace doing with watching and living with appearing to live, then you replace thinking with pretending to think, and solutions with pretenses of solutions. All of a sudden, global politics is beginning to make a lot more sense. The mind is a strange place, and we don't really know how it works, but it is clear that humans are very susceptible to titillating images, much more so, for example, than we are to titillating sounds. We like to think of ourselves, the modern human, as sophisticated and intelligent creatures compared to the ape we came from. But it is possible that we are not as sophisticated as we think, and just like the zookeeper distracts the animals with shouting and banging and treats, perhaps we too are being manipulated, salivating at spectacular images whilst our lives are being stolen from us. Debord was a proponent of violent revolution. He saw it as necessary to free man from the tyranny it had been placed under by megalomaniacal capitalists who were trying to remold the world in their own vain image. But perhaps nothing as radical as violent struggle is needed. When all of society is glued to the same screen, simply looking away is a revolutionary act.